What's going on, guys? Canal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Guys, what a hot stock market we have had the last, 2, 3 months. It's been incredible. You are starting to see stocks explode out of nowhere, and all the old little cult stock names that we used to love that seem to die out have been coming back in 2020 with some rage. You're seeing Tesla, Beyond Meat, right? Those kind of famous names that the youngsters love. They're starting to just explode. We're talking about 50, 100% gains on the table on these things. And so, question I've been getting is, what's up with Beyond Meat? How far can it go? You can already see here, even today, it's at $125. It's gapping up $10 today. Like, how high can this thing go? So let's look at this. So first, before we even get into the chart, why is Beyond Meat and the vegan meats going wild? I've never tried this stuff. I'm not going to lie. About like 8 years ago, my mom tried to get me to eat one of those black, spicy black bean burgers. It was disgusting. And so I swore it off. And then, my sisters are all vegetarians and being Indian. So, I'm always kind of interested in this stuff because, like my whole family's vegetarians. But my trainer told me if I eat the stuff, I might get man boobs. And so I'm not even going to try it because, as you know, with the Indian people, we all got skinny arms and big bellies as we get older. It's just the Indian thing. I always ask my mom why God made Indians so hairy. And she said it's because he gave us such big brains for mathematics. So that's my nutshell of my experience with this stuff. But you can see here, McDonald's has expanded some of the plant-based burger trial to over 50 stores in Canada. So it's not like a huge trial at all. 50 stores. McDonald's has tens of thousands of restaurants. But you got to remember, this is the biggest eatery in the world, pretty much. So if they decide at some point, hey, we're going to carry this Beyond Meat stuff, I mean, for a small company, that can be incredible. Like, even though Beyond Meat is a $126 stock and it's like a $5 billion company, it's really just a small percentage of what a McDonald's is, right? So if it's $5 billion right now, what could it be if this thing came into 10,000? So you can see it's expanding trust. So that is actually pretty interesting news. A lot of times in this market, a stock will just keep going up because it's just going up, right? And fresh news is like the fuel that can get stocks to really go. And, I saw this one too. Dunkin' Donuts teams with the Snoop Dogg Dogg to promote Beyond Meat sausage patties. So we have a handful of things that are going on this thing. Number one, you have fresh news out. Number two, if you look here, this is shortsqueeze.com. The short percentage of the float is at 39.41%. So what does that mean, guys? Does anybody know what that means? What that means is that when you are looking at a particular stock, man, if 40% of the float is shorted, so the float is the number of outstanding shares that can be traded on the open market. If you got 40% short, that's nearly half. So what happens is, as the stock starts to move and then the chart starts to break, you have all these people that are short. They essentially have to buy to cover their short, and that's what can get stocks to really, really make moves to the high side. So you've got news, you've got shorts, and then you've got a really powerful thing, which is what we call the January effect. It's a tax loss selling strategy that we use on swing trades all the time. I've made a couple videos on it. What you're seeing is bottoming patterns start to explode. Why? You have a market that's a runaway market here. You can see here that we're just on a liquidity-fueled Federal Reserve cocaine going market right now. Everything is pushing. So what's often happening, this happens in January, major stocks that are down like 50% or more, they start to even out in December as people start to book the losses for their taxes, right? They're selling them to get the tax loss write-off. And oftentimes what will happen is these type of names, after they come off their bottom, they start to break out into January especially if they have a certain formula, which is, you know, they've been beaten down. They were former high flyers. They're usually 50% or more off their highs. And then they typically have like a little bit of a lower float. If you can get anything that's less than 100 million, that's really, really positive. And you're seeing this kind of move in all sorts of names. Crowd, you know, I'm into one of these ones. BYND, which was very similar, right? $300 stock. You can see like it just started to even out, and then really in December, like you're starting to get a big push. And BYND is one of those. You know, and this one probably the best chart of all of it because the range was so tight here. You can see here, stocks, they get their power from compression. So when you get a range that gets really tight here, notice how it's just like $3, $4, $5. This stock is moving around $5 every 5 minutes right now. So for a handful of months and weeks, like it was literally just moving around in a small couple dollar range. Think about that. See, like it's like 74 to 77, 74 to 78, 79, 80 even. But like the range is really, really tight. Where like yesterday, if you look at it, right? Yesterday, now that it's gone, you can see like it'll move $5 in a few minutes. Stocks get their power from the compression. The contraction of range allows it to build up steam. And then when you couple that with all this news that comes out, so you've got fresh news out, then you've got short interest. If you got a stock with fresh news, high shorts, and then you can couple it with a really, really good chart, what you can do is have like a monster formula for going. On top of that, you've got a really low float. You can see a 48 million share float. You've got a really low float. So you got like that kind of perfect storm of goodness. So now, like, where does it go? Obviously, that's the formula to make these things go. You know, where can it go? You know, I would kind of draw I think this first level of resistance, I think this 130 could be a kind of a lid on it. And that's really where you'd have to, you know, really think if you were already in it to maybe start taking some profits. But the other thing is, you know, that might even be the area to short. To see if a move is real, like, I don't know if this is real. Like, to me, this sounds always like a little bit hokey pokey, right? Like, like meatless sausages, right? To me, it always sounds hokey pokey, but you can't ignore this volume. See the volume on this? 30 million shares, 24, 18. So, like, how do you want to know, like, if a move is real? You always want to judge the first pullback or the first consolidation. And what I mean by that is like, okay, maybe it's going to probably fizzle out over here. You can see even the 9 EMA is like at $90. So you've got like, you're really, really extended. 96 stochastics, that's about as overbought as you can be. And you're kind of getting into some resistance points. So how do you know if the move is real? How you know and whether you want to play is you watch the first dip or the first consolidation. So the first pullback or consolidation that happens after it gets extended, if it is orderly, it starts to show a pattern and holds at some levels, then the move is real and there'll probably be a secondary move. If it just collapses and dies without really any bouncing or any like kind of marination at key levels, then it was just probably a short squeeze or like a quick little pump. And a way to kind of judge this would be like an orderly pattern. So like if you look at like Tesla, like after it started its move, this is like, see like Tesla when it started its move, you know, you had this news out on the earnings and it really went nuts. Like it went, you know, it started at 250, got to 340, so it's up $100, right? And see what happens here, like you got like this nice orderly, see how it's not a crash, like it's just small candles coming down, really small volume coming down. So it's like a really orderly pullback. See how like you start to build some support here at 310. So you just got yourself like a nice, easy pullback. That's orderly. You build support at 310. You've got your 9 EMA under. It's not a crashy feel, a crashy pullback. So when you get something that's orderly and it's clean and it's crisp and it holds that support, then that gives you the sign that there's going to be a secondary and possibly even a third move. But if it comes just crashing down, then it's more of like a pump and dump kind of scenario, which is not something that you could invest in or have a longer term trade in. So use Tesla as a guide for Beyond Meat in terms of not the stocks and what they do, but the trading pattern. Watch that first dip, that first consolidation, and you're good to go. Guys, as always, we have been crushing in our chat room, day trade and all this stuff every day. You guys are more than welcome to join us. We got an awesome Discord room with crazy ideas for part-time traders, people that need to do swing trades and longer trades, and also day trading led by me. I'm on video every single day. We also have class starting next week. So if you're looking to kickstart your 2020, I do a 60-day trading boot camp that goes through everything I know about trading. We start everybody off at the dead beginning, how to set up all this software, get the layouts and all that fun stuff. You can email me, kunal@bullson.ws. And of course, man, feel free to comment or just ask questions. I love the discourse of just talking with people about trading. I don't care if you're a student or not a student, or a trader or not a trader. I just love talking stocks. So feel free to leave any comments and let me know if you need anything. As always, Happy New Year. Go Beyond Meat. Go stock market. Go Bulls on Wall Street, and go you. Smash that like button if you're having fun. As always, take care. Bless.